This conference will now be recorded.
Can you all go on mute, guys? Thank you. So last session, we have discussed about a cloud, what is cloud and what are all the services they're offering, and we discussed in the last session, right? So IaaS, PaaS and all. In last session, I also gave an example on IaaS, PaaS and SaaS services. One real-time use case also we discussed in a last session, right? So in today's session, I just want to provide one more use case, real-time use case, and a new pizza as a service. Okay, so then you can get a complete clarity on this services. So every cloud service provider, as we discussed, they're offering all these services: infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service, guys. Okay, when it comes to traditional on-premises deployment, okay, so traditional on-premises deployment in the sense, forget about a cloud, guys. Okay, forget about a cloud, and just think about if you want to create any application or if you want to deploy any application on your laptop, right? You want to do some POC and you want to start creating infrastructure, and you start installing the softwares, and you start maybe you need some environment, right? You need some environment, and where you have to be create your application and doing build and deployment. Okay, so maybe if you learn Java, or if you already have an experience on .NET, right? So maybe if you guys are already have certain experience on creating an application, doing build and deployment process accordingly, right? So everything we have to do, right? Everything we have to do from scratch, right? So in traditional on-prem systems, like when you take it as a pizza, right? So I want pizza, right? So I want to prepare the pizza with respect to traditional on-prem systems. Just given a small example, small real-time use case, and I have to check. I mean, I need a kitchen, I need gas, I need oven, I need pizza dough. You know, pizza dough, the underlying layer and toppings, all the pulses and everything. Cook the pizza accordingly, right? So everything I have to be prepared. This is a made in house. You have to be prepare your own, right? So this is a made in house. You have to be prepare everything at your home, right? So I have to be ready with all the items, right? So I have to be taken care everything if I want to prepare the pizza, right? So if I reach out to the cloud, if I reach out to any cloud service provider, right? So I'll take it. So we discussed it, right? There are many cloud service providers in current market, right? We have Azure, we have AWS, we have Google Cloud, Oracle Cloud, IBM Cloud, we have Alibaba Cloud, different cloud service providers. But most frequently used cloud service providers in current market: Microsoft Azure, Amazon Web Services. Okay, Google Cloud also currently people are using, and these three cloud service providers people are using most frequently. Okay, so when it comes to cloud, I have explained in yesterday's session: infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service, right? So when it comes to kitchen, gas, oven, okay, these are all the items are need, right? We need these all the items if you want to cook the pizza, right? So these services are offered by Microsoft. Okay, remember this point: these services are offered by Microsoft, and the remaining we have to be taken care. So that's why vendor manages this, and you have to be taken care: pizza dough, toppings, the pizza and all. Okay, you have to be taken care of all these things. You have to purchase this, and you have to purchase toppings. Okay, accordingly you can cook the pizza, right? With respect to platform as a service, right? So Microsoft is managed by kitchen. They will provide you everything: kitchen, gas, oven, pizza dough, right? You have to be taken care toppings and cook the pizza. That's it. Okay, and so you can see how easy it is, right? So you just focus on the toppings and whatever the pulses items, right? So you can be able to focus on that, right? So based on that, toppings and all, toppings in the sense we'll apply some pulses and all, right? So we can call it as that, and so you can apply, and the taste will vary here, right? Not here. Pizza dough generally is common, right, for all pizzas, and toppings, and accordingly you need to cook the pizza. So believe me, guys, believe me, most of the businesses in the planet, I can say that most of the companies, they're moving to cloud. The reason behind is this, guys. They're moving to PaaS services. So I have seen many businesses, and they can be able to move to the PaaS service. They don't want to focus on their underlying infrastructure, guys. Okay, so this is what the infrastructure. If you want to cook the pizza, this is what the infrastructure, and accordingly you need to cook the pizza, right? So this is at a high level. If you can think in this use case perspective, and we these are all the underlying, and these are all kitchen, gas, oven. If you want to cook the pizza, right? So same thing for PaaS service. So many businesses, they're moving to PaaS services nowadays, and they can focus on their customer satisfaction, right? So they need to improve that business, right? So instead of focusing on all these things, they can focus on their customers, right? So that is what is happening with respect to platform as a service, guys. Okay, remember this point. So for every business nowadays, you can see there is lot of businesses are moving to the cloud. Okay, so they're picking cloud service provider, for example Microsoft Azure, and they'll take it as platform as a service, and they can focus on their business logic, and they can focus on their business accordingly. Okay, so with respect to software as a service, guys, you no need to worry about anything. Everything is provided by Microsoft. Okay, any cloud service provider I'm talking about. In my example, I'm taking it Microsoft Azure. Microsoft Azure would be able to manage everything. Okay, so in a green color, vendor will manage everything. Okay, you no need to worry about, for example, you have installed a software, for example Outlook, right? So you have installed Outlook or Office 365 or Power BI or any other tools. You just install and use it, that's it, right? So yesterday we discussed it, right? If you can take it an example of 5-star or 7-star hotel, you just order the food will come to your room, and you directly eat that food, right? So you're not preparing anything, right? So this is what the software as a service, guys. Okay, so here I can see some green color and blue color, right? So blue color you have to be managed, green color vendor will manage. Vendor in the sense Microsoft. Okay, with respect to AWS, Amazon is the vendor, Amazon Web Services. Okay, so this is what one real-time use case I just want to explain, so that you can have that idea. When I explain the real-time use case, you will have that the picture would be in mind, right? So always you should remember this service, right? So when it comes to technology perspective, right? So this is a use case, real-time use case. When it comes to technology perspective, so I'm talking about, for example, if you can take any example, no need to worry about all these things at this point of time, because many people are coming from non-IT as well. And IT people, few of them are understand, few of them are not understanding, because their streams are different right now, and maybe after few days they can understand clearly. Okay, so for example, guys, if any application, right, so these are all the mandatory, guys. For any applications, you need networking, you need storage, right? Many applications you have seen this storage, networking, right? SAN, the network storage, like networking, you need networking like virtual networks, right? So servers, you need a lot of servers, right? So generally we need a servers, right? So when you, for example, guys, if I go to any hotel, right? So I'll order the food, right? I'll order the food, and the I mean server will come, and he will take that order, and he will go to the kitchen accordingly and pick that items for us, right? So server will play that role generally. Okay, servers, we have many servers and virtualization, and we'll create that virtualization that we can discuss later. OS, you already aware. Operating systems, middleware, runtime, there are many things. Okay, just a high level, just try to understand. I'll come to this section, each and every section later point of time. Dockers, Kubernetes. So data in the sense, you already aware, we already discussed about the data and your applications. Okay, so infrastructure as a service, and till virtualization Microsoft will manage, and applications, data, runtime, middleware, OS is taken by care by you. Okay, So with respect to this, applications and data is only managed by you, and the remaining all is managed by Microsoft. So that's where the beauty of platform as a service, and that's the reason many people are moving to platform as a service. Software as a service, everything is managed by vendor. Okay, I mean to say that everything is managed by Microsoft. You no need to worry about anything. So I'll come to each and every section later point of time. So once we start using each and every component, guys, I'll come to this. So what is networking while creating virtual machines or virtual network? So what next, what I'm going to create a storage, right? Storage, we have different kinds of storages. We have blob storage, data lake, file, queue, table, so that you can have that complete picture on that. What is this servers? So I'll come to this. So when it comes to create a SQL database, right? So we generally create a SQL database and we have some underlying servers. And so as we just discussed about a real-time use case, I'll explain each and every uh, scenario, and I'll start explaining this what Microsoft is offering us, and what are all the things I can be able to take in care with respect to infrastructure as a service, and I'll come to that, guys, okay, with one real-time example. So currently many cloud service providers in the current market, right? So cloud service providers, we have cloud service providers, we have Microsoft Azure, IBM Cloud, Google Cloud, and AWS. Okay, so these are all most cloud service providers we have in current industry is using, and so most frequently using Microsoft Azure and AWS and Google Cloud, guys. Okay, so till now we just discussed about the cloud and what are all the services my cloud service provider is offering us. So almost 200 plus services Microsoft Azure is offering. So based on your requirement, you can be able to use those services in your project, guys. Okay, so let's discuss. We can categorize that there are different categories. There are the compute, the general, there are the storage, networking. There are different categories. Okay, Microsoft is offering. So we will see each and every category once we log into the portal. Okay, so what is this portal and how you need to connect to the portal to create the services for your needs? Okay, so that we can discuss, guys. So till now we discussed about the cloud and what exactly the difference between on-premises and cloud, why people are shifting to cloud, and what are all the cloud service providers we have in the current market. We discussed it till now, right? So let's discuss about the Azure cloud. Azure, what is Azure? What Microsoft is offering you? So what is, everyone is talking about Azure, right? So what is Azure? So Azure is cloud computing service. Okay, so Azure is cloud computing service created by Microsoft. Okay, it's a cloud computing service. So we just discussed about the cloud computing architecture, right? Earlier stage. So it's a cloud computing service created by Microsoft where users can create servers, storage systems, database, etc. using an online portal, and Microsoft will maintain the data centers and physical infrastructure. So that's what we discussed in yesterday's session, right? So Microsoft Azure Cloud, they will provide you all infrastructure, guys. Okay, you no need to worry about underlying infrastructure and everything. If you can take it as IaaS service or PaaS services and all, right? So you can create the services whatever you need. For example, you can create a virtual machines, you can create a networks, you no need to worry about the terminology. Virtual machines, what is virtual machine, what is virtual network? We can practically create this virtual machine. I'll show you. I'll host a SFTP server in a virtual machine. I can explain you how exactly you need to connect to the SFTP, because this is what the real time, right? This is what the real time you have to understand. So I'll explain from scratch. Just try to understand. John is very happy. Now he start using this portal. Okay, this is a portal where you need to create the services, whatever your business needs, right? So whether it is database, whether it is storage, whether it is server. So whatever your business need, you are going to create the services in a cloud based on this portal. Okay, based on this portal, you can create those services, guys. Remember this point. Okay, so Microsoft will maintain the data centers for you, the underlying infrastructure and everything. You no need to worry about underlying physical servers, physical infrastructure. Microsoft is managed completely. Okay, And so we just discussed about Azure, what exactly Azure is a cloud computing service I'm trying to explain, and it's created by Microsoft, and where you can create your business need, you can create a servers, you can create a storage. So whatever the service you need, you can just create in few minutes. Okay, so maybe you can create Azure Data Factory service, and you can create any service, guys. Okay, so you can be able to so underlying data centers or physical infrastructure, everything is managed by Microsoft. Okay, so when it comes to benefits, guys, okay, so you have understand what is Azure, what is the benefits, right? So you can reduce a lot of cost, guys. You can reduce the cost of infrastructure, because the cost of maintaining a local server, including installation and updating and maintaining a dedicated IT staff, and having a climate control room, can be very expensive, guys, because yesterday we discussed about the data center, right? To maintain the data center, right, there are infrastructure team is required, servers, storage, memory, everything you have to be taken care, guys, right? So we also discussed about the real-time use cases in yesterday's session. And so that is what, guys, you can reduce that cost. There is no upfront cost at all here. Okay, there is no upfront cost at all here, so you can be able to reduce that. And so there is no capital expenditure, upfront cost, or capital expenditure, both are same, guys. Okay, so there is no upfront cost at all. And having climate, no need to invest amount on these things. Okay, so updating, maintaining, dedicated staff, no need to worry about anything, guys. Okay, so nowadays everywhere you can see there is some franchises, right? So company will offer you everything, and so you have seen that. So you can correlate that example here. So companies can offer you everything, and they can, I mean, they just need to pay some amount for all the infrastructure and everything, right? So that comes under this. Cloud also comes under that umbrella. Okay, so you can scale the resources. You can scale the resources. I mean, for example, so with Microsoft Azure, you only pay what you need. Okay, for example, I'll create a resource. For example, Azure Data Factory is one of the resource or service I need to move data from source to target, right? So I need to pay only that particular time, right? So only the time the time it is taking to move data. For example, I have 100 GB of data in my laptop. I want to move data to the cloud, so it took almost 12 minutes to move data, all 100 GB of data to the cloud, right? I can only pay for that 12 minutes. Okay, I can, whatever the compute power it used, I can only pay that. Okay, I don't want to invest single rupee on my infrastructure. I can invest the amount on my compute power, right? So if you want to move data from source to target, 100 GB of data you want to move, there is some compute power is required, right? So even in your laptop also, if you want to run anything underlying, there is some compute power, right? It is running storage, compute power, I mean, whatever this memory, Intel cores, right? So there is some compute power is required to run your application, right? Even in a cloud also, there is some compute power is required if you want to move data from source to target. 100 GB of data source is your local laptop, and moving to the cloud, so you need some compute power is required. So only Microsoft will charge only for that. Okay, so only for number of missions it use, because since it has to be load 100 GB of data, right? So that comes under scaling. Okay, it will automatically scalable based on your workload, based on your volume of data, right? We are talking about the big data, right? So I mean, you can be able to load terabytes of data, you can load gigabytes of data. So based on your requirement, you can move the data, right? So this is what you can scale the resources automatically. You no need to worry about I have 100 GB of data, whether it is supports or not. You no need to worry, guys. Okay, it will definitely supports. You can directly join. You can directly create, you can automate your workflows. So that how you need to do that, we can discuss. No need to worry now. Just want to explain, you can scale up your resources. Okay, So ease of accessibility. So you can be able to Azure Cloud Services allow access to your data at any location and at any time, guys. So you can just connect to your portal, your portal.azure.com. You can just connect to the portal, and you can directly, you no need to worry about VPN, virtual private networks and all, guys. You can directly create the resources once you have the access to the portal in a I'll start explaining about once you have an access to the portal, what you need to do in a real time. I'll also explain that, because you don't know anything, you are new, right? You are layman, right? So I'll also explain step by step process. Okay, at this point of time, I just want to explain accessibility. So you just need an access, and you can be able to create the services whatever you want. How you need to create the services, that I'll explain, no need to worry. So data security. So when it comes to any cloud service providers, guys, so as we discussed in yesterday's session, they'll provide the best security standards to their customers. Even Microsoft Azure, they're providing best security standards to their customers, because they have lot of personal information, personal identifiable information, like your username, like your email ID, your phone number, your credit card information. All these are your personal information, right? It cannot be disclosed outside, right? So that's the reason they'll maintain all the data in, while data is in rest mode, while data is moving from one place to another place, the data is encrypted, guys. Okay, and this is what data security. So saves time, guys. So for example, generally, guys, in on premises, everything we have to be set up. We have to be set up our server, storage, memory, and everything we have to be set up. But with respect to cloud, you just create the service, guys. Okay, the number of hours spent in configuring, planning, and installing virtual machine is quite significant. Microsoft Azure only takes a minutes to have everything set up in a new virtual machines. And if within few minutes, guys, you can be able to just single shot, you can be able to create within 1 minute or 1.5 minutes, you can create a virtual machine. But it's not like that in on-prem system, guys. Okay, in a cloud, you can create any resource in within few minutes. Okay, so that's what the beauty, guys. That's what the beauty. For example, even sometimes what will happen in real time, you have 100 GB of data, right? You already running your SQL database on 100 GB of data. When you want to improve that, when you want to increase, maybe you have some out of memory issue, and when you want to increase that capacity, you have to get the lot of approvals, and you have to send a request to SAN team, storage area network, and they will take a lot of time to add that additional disk to the server. It's a lot of time it is taking, and lot of so we are missing sometimes timelines as well, right? Client expected this maybe in 1 day, but SAN team is taking one week or 2 weeks. Even sometimes we lose the business. These kinds of reasons, guys, people are moving to cloud. Okay, so within a few clicks we can be able to future is a cloud, guys, because many companies are moving. This is the right time you to move to the cloud. Okay, so data engineering. So whatever you are learning right now, Azure Data Engineer, future is Azure Data Engineer, guys, because volume of data is growing. Big data is exponentially moving, guys. Okay, so because you are using multiple devices, you are using laptops, phones, right? The data is moving around, and data volume is growing every day exponentially, and you have to be handle all the data to add a value to the business. Okay, so this is what the beauty of Microsoft Azure, and so everything is surrounding on data, right? So try to move right away, guys. Don't waste your time, and you have to be shift your career to Azure Data Engineer. Okay, so future is Azure Data Engineer. Wherever you are now, maybe you are working. Few guys are already working in a real time in a different streams. If you want to shift your career, this is the right time, and I'll help you in each and every stage, guys. Okay, so till you settled in Azure Data Engineer or Data Engineer. Okay, so you can take my help. I'll help for everyone. So now I just want to give some update, right? So currently 95% of Fortune 500 companies are using Microsoft Azure. Okay, and $1 billion investment per year to protect from cyber threats. It's more than that right now. Fastest growing cloud service provider and the second largest market share in a cloud market. Okay, and start with a free account and later you can use to pay as you go model, guys. So once Microsoft Azure, initially you can start creating a free account. Microsoft is offering 13,300 credits, I mean 13,300 Indian rupees and $200. Okay, you can use its dollar price is increasing now, and it's more than that. And I'll show you how you need to create a free account, how you need to practice. Okay, you have to practice every day and you have to create a free account, right? So I'll show you that free account, how exactly you need to create. Tomorrow's session, I'll explain how you need to create a free account. Okay, so because every day we have to be practice, so you no need to install anything in your laptop, right? You just need to open your browser. Okay, just need to open your Google Chrome or Internet Explorer or Edge or anything. Okay, so you can just open and you can open that portal.azure.com and you can daily practice that. You no need to worry about installing softwares, whether my laptop configuration is supports or not. So no need to worry about all these things. Just to open a Google Chrome or Edge or Internet Explorer, you just open that portal.azure.com, then you can practice, guys. Okay, so we'll start from scratch and I'll go by step process. Okay, and let's discuss about a few more things, and I'll explain about hierarchy, guys, in a Microsoft Azure. For example, this is Microsoft Azure. Under Microsoft Azure we have different clients, right? So I work for different clients, guys. Chevron, I work for Walmart, I work for Apple. So I work different clients, right? So under Microsoft umbrella we have different clients, and each client they have different business functions, right? For example, in my client, Chevron client, they have some business function like supply and trading, logistics, transport, and they have some finance, they have some HR. They are different business functions. Okay, sales and product management. So they are different business functions, and all the business, right, under the client you can see under this is the tenant, in the sense client, guys. Okay, tenant in the sense client. Under the tenant we have different subscriptions. We have free subscription, so you can create a free trial subscription, but in real time you may have different subscription for each business function. For HR we have different subscription, for different finance we have different subscription, and for supply and trading we have different subscription, logistics we have a different subscription, sales and product management you have different subscription, admin we have a different subscription. So even in your company, right, once you I mean maybe you start working on companies, they have different different departments, right? So for each department we have a different subscriptions we can create in real time generally. Okay, so I'll show you how you need to create this free trial subscription, and under the subscription we can categorize that resources in resource groups, guys. For example, if you want to purchase any item, guys, for example, I want to order food, or I want to purchase some items from Amazon or Flipkart. Like you want to order a phone from Microsoft, I mean Amazon and or Flipkart, and they will keep all the I mean whatever the phone, charger, and earphones if it is there, and they will keep it in a container, right? They'll keep it in a box and they will give it to you, right? So like that here also we will keep all the resources in a subscription. Under the subscription we'll have the resource group, so we'll further categorized into resource groups. Okay, so we will keep all the services, we'll keep all the resources or the services inside this subscription, inside this resource group. Okay, so for example, if I can take an example of HR, right? Human resources. Under the human resources, I have created different resources. Okay, we have Azure Data Factory, we have storage account, we have Azure SQL database, we have Azure keyword service. So there are different kinds of services. You no need to worry. We'll just talk about each and everything from scratch. Okay, so there are different services Microsoft is offering. Whatever your needs, your business needs, you can create those services under the subscription. Okay, how you need to create and what is the service and everything we can discuss. Okay, this is Azure Data Factory service. Many people are talking about Azure Data Factory and all, right? So we will discuss one real-time use case and I'll come to this. Okay, so let's discuss about Azure Data Factory. Okay, so many people are talking about Azure Data Factory and all, right? So we'll discuss about version 2. Why I mentioned here version 2? version 1 is already deprecated. There is a lot of limitations we have. It was came into picture in 2016 around version 1. Version 2 came into picture in 2017, guys. Okay, 2018 also there are a few more changes they made, and 2018 you can just mention that 2018 we have that Azure Data Factory version 2 came into picture. Okay, there are a lot of changes they made in version 2 that we can discuss going forward. Okay, so there is one of the biggest feature they are included in Azure Data Factory version 2, SSIS package execution, and you can directly run your SSIS, because traditionally people are using SSIS packages. Many SQL Server developers they use SSIS. I think many people are heard about MSBI. No need to worry about all these things, guys. We can discuss clearly each and every one later point of time. So just, I mean, Azure Data Factory version 2, right? So what is the use and when to use Azure Data Factory, and why should I use Azure Data Factory since we already have different tools in current market, and why should I use Azure Data Factory, and what is the use of Azure Data Factory? Let's discuss each and everything, guys. Okay. So we can have uh, we can have this what is ADF, and so we can see that how the data is moving, and so how fast the data is moving from here to here, and people are so happy with Azure Data Factory when compared to other ETL tools in current market. Okay, so we have this, we'll discuss what is ADF, what is Azure Data Factory. So what is Azure Data Factory? Okay, so let's discuss about one real-time use case, and I'll come to this definition so that you can correlate with that real-time use case. Okay, so now a simple use case, guys. Okay, so for example, you want to, because my relations, everyone is there in US, and I want to transfer some courier to them. Okay, so let's take an example of this. So this is India and this is US. Okay, you want to transfer courier from here to here, from India to US, right? So for example, I want to transfer some clothes, right? So I want to collect the items from here, right? So I have to transfer all my items to the US, right? So what will happen? We have generally maybe Garuda or FedEx, or we have DTDC. So different courier services are in current market, right? So maybe I reached out to Garuda, okay, or DTDC, or whatever the international couriers we have. We'll just FedEx, right? We'll just pick up that, and we we just take that whatever the international services, international courier services, and I'll reach out to one of delivery manager. Okay, so for example, DTDC delivery manager, I approached him and he arranged a delivery boy. Okay, so one day delivery boy, maybe yesterday, you can talk about yesterday, right? So delivery boy called me, and I just want to keep here. So he has to collect the things, right? So he has to collect all the items. Okay, so he has to collect all the items from here. Okay, and what delivery boy, he called me and he has to know the address first, right? He has to know the address so that he can reach out to me accordingly, right? So what delivery boy will do, he has to be authenticate first, right? He has to be authenticate, and I need to share the address, and first step here, he has to be authenticate, right? So your first step, authenticate, right? So first, I mean, he has to reach the correct person or not, and he has to know the address about source, right? So he has to know the address so that he can come to my location, and he start. Then once authentication is completed, once you authenticate, right? So yeah, I mean, guys, understanding what I'm trying to say here, everyone with me?
Yes.
Okay. So your second step here, so you have to be authenticate first. Your second step would be he will come to your place and he will pack all the items of what exactly he need to transfer to the US, and he will collect all the items, and he so here you have to be give them, right? So you have to hand over the items to him so that he will parcel, right? So hand over the items, and he will pack all the items. So finally he will deliver it to the US, right? So here what will happen, we have in target side, before going to give to the receiver, I mean hand over to the receiver, whoever is the receiver it is. So he also need to authenticate at target side, right? So here third step would be, okay, so he needs to authenticate, okay, and then we fourth step would be he has to give them, okay. So he have the person, okay, the person whoever it is, he will receive the items, for example receive the items, right? So the fourth step would be received the items, and for moving, right, for moving here the he will collect all the items, and he will delivery boy will parcel, and he will courier it to he will just send it to the US, right? So US, and also we just need to authenticate the address, and so he has to know the correct person, he has to authenticate that. Even in small, if you want to purchase anything from Amazon, right, so he has to know the address, and he has to authenticate you are the correct person or not from source and target side. Generally we can check, right? So receive the items accordingly the person, right? So whoever is the receiver, and he is going to be checked, and even for delivery boy also he has to be authenticate the person before going to deliver it to the items, right? So this is what he will the person whoever is taking, and he will just collect all the items. And I just want to keep here, so receiver is going to be collect all the items here, right? Collected them. Okay, so this is just for if you want to move data, if you want to collect all the data, I mean collect all the items, and moving to target, right? So this is where we need to use Azure Data Factory, guys. Okay, so if you just want to collect the data from source, and move it to the target, so these are all the things we can be able to perform. So here in place of delivery boy we have an ADF, guys. Okay, so ADF, in ADF itself we have a compute. So I'll explain that, and this is where ADF will come into picture. Okay, Azure Data Factory. Okay, ADF means Azure Data Factory. Okay, so delivery boy is nothing but an ADF, and ADF we have different kinds of processes. Okay, how you need, first step would be we need to authenticate, right? So if you want to authenticate, we have different components again associated with Azure Data Factory that I can discuss. I can clearly explain you guys so that you can understand the terminology first. Okay, so first we need to authenticate, okay, and then we need to hand over the items. Okay, so when it comes to ADF terminology, let's come to that. Okay, I'll give one more example, and how you need to authenticate, how, because you need to I'll give one more real-time use case. This is just for one real-time use case. Okay, generally when you want to transfer the items from India to US, so these are all the things you need to follow, right? So we just want to authenticate and we'll hand over the items. Delivery boy will parcel all your items and he will send it to the destination, right? So just need to authenticate a target side and the target person will receive the items accordingly. Okay, so this is just simple example, right? So let's discuss about one more example. I have a source database here, guys. Okay, so or I have a so I'll take just a database. Okay, source database or Amazon, for example, you can take Amazon source DB. Okay, or this is Amazon target DB. Okay, so you have tables, guys. Here I have table 1, I have table 2, I have table 3. Okay, so my requirement here is I want to move table 1 to target. Okay, I want to load table 1 here. Okay, remember this, guys. So I just want to move table 1 from here to here. Okay, so for moving one location, so my table 1 and table 2, table 3 is placed in maybe in India. There is one of the database, and so I want to move table 1, only table 1 to target DB, Amazon target DB. Okay, so for you to move table from here to here, right, what tool you need to use? You need to use here area. Okay, Azure Data Factory. Okay, so first what you need to do, right, before I'm moving table 1 to the target, I need to authenticate first, right? So what is your I need to my first step is I need to authenticate, right? So we can, in ADF terminology, we just need to talk about so there is some terminology, guys. I'll come to that, no need to worry. So we just need to authenticate. We can authenticate. So what exactly you need here? If I want to connect to this DB, what exactly you need? So you need DB username and password, right? So when you want to connect to this DB database, you need DB username or password, right? So I need to get all these credentials to connect to the DB. Then what is your second step here? Your second step here is you have to select the table. Okay, so you want to move this table 1 to target, right? You have to select the table, your second step. Okay, so I have selected this is a table 1. I just want to move to target. Okay, my second step would be select the table. So here we can authenticate using this DB username and password, and we can call it as a linked service, guys. Okay, we can call it as linked service, nothing but a connection established to the source. Okay, so here in terminology, first step, guys. Okay, so you have to create a linked service. So here select the table, right? So we call it as a data set. Simple, very simple. Okay, your first step would be we need to authenticate using a DB username and password. We can call it in ADF terminology linked service. Okay, and select the table, and you need to select the whatever the table you want to move. I want to move table 1 to target DB table 1. Okay, so we can call it as in ADF terminology data set. In a normal terminology I am talking about, but in a ADF terminology, connection established to the source, we can call it as a linked service. Select the table or select the whatever the data you want to move. Okay, we call it as a data set. How you need to create a link service, how you need to create a data set, that I can explain later point of time. No need to worry now. We can go for step by step because many people have to understand, right? So target side, also I need some username and passwords. Target DB also there, right? So we have to be authenticate target DB, right? So I need DB username password for target as well, right? DB username or password. Okay, or else you want to load data into not only DB, or you want to load into any storage, right? So you need some credentials, right, to connect to that respective storage or respective DB. Okay, so right, even for your laptop also, if you want to connect, you need some credentials. You need to log in with your password, right? So like here also, if you want to authenticate, if you want to connect to any source or any target, you need some credentials. You need to authenticate, right? So that's where we need to use some username and password to connect to the source, and then you can select the table. Okay, then you have to move table 1 to target. So just select the table. We can call it as a data set. DB username, and you need to write the table 1 whatever you have selected. For writing also you need to use a data set. Okay, write table into some destination, some folder, you some since you are going to create a table, right? Some database, whatever the database you have selected, you are going to create the table inside the database. Okay, so you are going to create table, or you want to write table, whatever the table you have selected here, the same table I am going to create in target DB. Same table I am going to write in a target DB. Okay, so this is your third step. And this is your fourth step. Okay, so this is your fourth step, and this is your third step. Okay, so what is your fifth step? For example, for you to move from here to here, there is some compute power, guys. Okay, so even in a previous example also, if you want to deliver right from India to US, right? So you need some travel, right? Some vehicle to move data from one place to another place, right? So maybe through flights, right? We can be able to query accordingly. So here also there is some compute power. Okay, so that compute is, so your fifth step is compute, like some computer. For example, you want to move data, right, from your from your source like laptop, right? There is some source, some compute power. For example, your laptop, right? So you can connect, if you have internet connection, you can connect to the target and you can move the data, right? So base is your laptop only, right? So that's where the compute will come into picture. So for you to move from source DB to target DB, or if you want to courier from India to US, you need some travel, right? Some vehicle for you want to move those items to the target, right? So here also we need some compute for you to move data, some data to source to target, right? So that's where compute will come into picture. We'll discuss this compute. Okay, there is some concept integration runtime. So it basically provides a compute. Okay, all the compute infrastructure which is provided by integration runtime. By default, we have Azure Data Factory have that compute. So we will discuss clearly what is this compute, and there are different types of integration runtimes that also we can discuss later point of time. So compute, your fifth step would be compute, right? So compute is fine, but somehow you need some activity, right? So compute generally it will provide the compute infrastructure, but you have to be, for example, I have to click on send, right? Send, I have to click on send, then I can be able to move from table one to table one will move to the target. So there is some activity you have to perform, right? So here in ADF terminology there are some activities like copy activity. Okay, activity, so activity nothing but an action. Okay, activity nothing but an action or processing step. Okay, so you want to process from table one to you want to move table one to target, there is some activity, we can call it as copy activity. There are different kinds of activities we can discuss later point of time. So this is what ADF is. Simple, it is very simple. You want to just need to authenticate the source and you want to select the data or table or data whatever it is. And target side also you need to create a link service or you need to authenticate. Okay, target also you need to authenticate and you need to write this table one to target. Okay, and your fifth step would be compute. Anyhow we already have, by default we have compute. And your sixth step would be activity, you have to perform some activity, right? Like copy this table one to target database table one, right? Just need to perform some action, right? So this is what the activity. So when I trying to explain practically how you need to create this how you need to authenticate using a link service, right? How you need to select the table using data set. And so how you need to authenticate even for target also, how you need to write the table, right? So how you need to use this compute environment, right? For you to move this table one to target, right? So and how you need to activity, how you need to move, right? Using copy activity, how you need to copy this table and load into target, so using an activity. So we can discuss this step by step process and you can clearly understand in Azure Data Factory, guys. Okay, so simply an Azure Data Factory is this. Okay, so you can do these kinds of activities. Okay, these kinds of processing steps with Azure Data Factory, that we can just want to correlate these steps. Okay, so when we start explaining everything, guys, in a terminology point of view, it's bit different at this point of time. It's bit maybe in your thinking way. So I mean, all these terms are in different. All this I'm not able to understand. I mean, you will be able to think like that in initial stage, but after 2 or 3 classes you can be able to habituated with these terms, right? When we try to pronounce those terms continuously and you can habituate with the terms, guys. Okay, because any new technology, even for me also, if you want to skip to new technology, I mean if I just want to skip the existing and I want to move to the new technology, it's new to me, right? Even I am working in a real time, but it's new to me. Maybe when compared to you I can understand more, right? So because since you are from completely new environment, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. Try to understand the terminology, but that's why I'm trying to explain in a normal terminology. You have to understand this use case, just need to correlate with that, just need to correlate with that, then you can be able to have some picture in your mind. Okay, you can clearly understand. When we start provide, I mean if I can start explaining some use cases, some real-time example, you can clearly understand what is Azure Data Factory. Now you have some picture, I think, in your mind, right? So everyone with me, guys, everyone is understanding what I'm trying to explain?
Yeah, yes,
Hello?
understand. Yeah, understand.
Yeah, yeah, any questions, guys? Till now, any questions? I'll take the questions now, because everyone need to understand. Even small questions also you can ask, guys. Okay, don't hesitate what others think about you, don't hesitate. Everyone here come here to learn something, guys. Please try to understand and ask the questions so that you can explore more. Okay, any
Sir,
questions,
I
Yes,
have
guys?
sir.
one doubt. Sir, I have
Yeah,
one doubt,
please
sir.
please go
Sir,
ahead.
instead of ADF, already existing methods are available to transfer the data from source to destination, like import and export, and one more thing,
Correct.
SSIS also is available. So why we
Yes,
use ADF?
exactly, good question, guys. So ADF we have many advantages, guys. So okay, in a normal informatica data stage, SSIS, talent, there are different kinds of data, different kinds of ETL tools and in current market, and they're shifting their jobs to the ADF right now. The reason behind, so when we pick any kind of tool, any kind of ETL tool, what customers can look, right? So they can look cost effective, cost can reduce, and performance and productivity, right? So this security also, these four terms, every any customer, not only my customer, not only your customer, and in a globe, any customer, they look into these terms, guys. Okay, they can look into that cost, they look into that performance, they look into the productivity, they look into the security, right? So all these things Azure Data Factory can provide you guys. Okay, when compared to SSIS, okay, even SSIS packages also we can directly run in ADF. Okay, SSIS packages, we have an execute SSIS package activity, we can directly run SSIS packages in Azure Data Factory. This is one of the biggest feature they were included in Azure Data Factory version 2 in 2018 itself. Okay, remember this point, guys. You can directly run SSIS package, just lift and shift without modifying any piece of code in SSIS package. You can directly execute that in the ADF, Azure Data Factory. Whatever that monitoring and scheduling capabilities and Azure Data Factory, the underlying infrastructure, everything is managed by Azure Data Factory. So no need to worry, guys, at this point of time. Later point of time, you can understand all these things. I'm trying to explain here, when compared to other tools, how cheap Azure Data Factory is. Because in SSIS package or it's in Informatica or a data stage, you have to be set up everything, servers, storage, right? You have to be set up everything, you have to create everything manually, right? So you have to do everything from scratch, right? But in ADF, it's not like that. It's serverless infrastructure. You no need to worry about underlying infrastructure at all, right? And it's automatically scalable based on your workload, based on your volume of data, right? You have 100 GB of data, or you have 50 terabytes of data, right? So you can still move that data from source to target every efficiently, since the scaling, there are few terms, guys. Okay, so elasticity based on your business, okay, it will automatically scalable, right? So I'll give an example, guys, here. So you purchase, but sometimes you can see in Amazon or Flipkart, there is some big billion days, right? So big billion days and Thanksgiving days and Black Friday, like we have these events can happen in year end or November or December times, right? So they'll provide a lot of offers, right? So customers can eagerly waiting those big billion days, and they want to purchase the phone, they want to purchase some items from Amazon or Flipkart, right? So that time what will happen, they have to increase that power, compute power, right? They have to increase the number of servers, they have to increase the storage, they have to increase that bandwidth, right? Because many people are hitting to the Amazon website, right? Amazon app. So they have to be provide that better performance, they have to be I mean, single user cannot face any issue, because if people are facing the issues, they're not interested to connect to the Amazon app, right? So they have to be increase that number of resources. We can talk about storage, memory, servers and all, right? They have to increase the number of sources, I mean number of resources, to give best performance to the customers, right? They have to select many items, and they don't agree with that, if there is any performance issue, they don't want to connect to that Amazon at all, right? So if there is any issues, right? So if I'm selecting the items, it's going slowly loading, people are not agree with that, because, right? So you have to be increase that compute power whenever business grows, and it will automatically reduces whenever business down, right? So that's where the beauty of Azure Data Factory, that's where the beauty of Microsoft Azure, that's where the beauty of cloud. Okay, that is the reason people are moving to cloud, guys. Okay, you can automatically reduce, there are some auto scalable options, and elasticity in the sense, when you want to, when the business grows, it will automatically increase the number of resources. If business goes down, it will automatically reduce the number of resources, right? That's what the beauty of auto scale, right? Azure Data Factory, it will automatically scalable, the underlying infrastructure is taken care by Microsoft. And if you want to move data, so 100 GB of data from source to target, right? So ADF, how much is charging? $0.40, not even $1. Okay, so how cheap it is, and how best it is with respect to performance, productivity, security wise. And so that's the reason, guys, many people are shifting their jobs to Azure Data Factory, and this is the main reason. Okay. Any other questions, team? You got, I mean, you answered my question. I mean, did I answer my question? Hello, guys, did I answer your question?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Hi, Naresh here.
Yeah, Naresh.
Yeah. Actually, is there any chance to convert the JSON to? There is a different formats, right? Suppose in source side, one is some
Correct.
XML format, someone maintaining some XML format, someone maintaining
Correct.
CSV formats. So
Correct.
at the finally the destination we need to require some particular format. We need to keep in
Correct.
particular format in particular table or the particular server, right? By using copy
Correct.
activity, we can monitor those things. But
Correct.
directly conversion without using logic apps, is it possible to convert through ADF only?
Yes, yes, we
For
can do
example,
that because.
I will give one example.
Mhm.
Mm, there is a from source side, it is a I mean XML formats will be available.
Mhm.
So in target side, I need to send JSON format.
Okay.
But without using logic apps, is it
Mhm.
possible to convert through ADF?
Yes, yes, guys. So without using logic apps also, even logic apps also, it's ETL kind of tool only, right? So we have ADF where we can be able to convert. We have different kinds of file format. It's supporting ADF. We have it supports XML. It supports JSON. It supports Avro, Parquet, Excel. It supports CSV text formats, and it supports. There are many formats, and you can easily convert that XML to JSON. Whatever the format you want to convert, it will convert. There are a lot of format it's supporting right now.
Actually, here my intention is without using anything through ADF
Mhm.
only. Is it possible, right? I am asking that one.
Yes, 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 yes. You can. It's possible. You can do that.
Okay, okay, sir.
Any other questions, team? So even small questions, if you have any, you can ask, guys. You can talk to me offline also if you have any. Okay. So anyone joined new today? Anyone is missing? Did I miss anyone? So I think I have added everyone in the group. So if anyone missed, so please ping me. Their numbers are just ping me in WhatsApp. I'll add to the training group. Okay, because I'll update in the training group itself if you miss anything. Uh, Maybe you can just ping me, guys, in a WhatsApp group. I'll add to the training group accordingly. Okay. If you don't have any questions, course duration 45 days, Sujit. Okay.
Suresh, this is Navin. I have one
Yeah,
small query.
yeah, please.
Is there any T-SQL scripts we need to write to create
Mhm.
any pipeline, or do we face any performance issues to improve the pipelines?
Not exactly. So we can write that SQL scripts anyhow, and so
Okay,
you can use that because in 2018 we have ADF version 2 came into picture, and in 2018 people what they can do, they'll use as you mentioned, we generally use SQL scripts for doing all the transformation for improving performance and all. But now we have in 2019 data flows came into picture where we can do transformations with they all are code free transformation, guys. Okay, no need to worry about a code in ADF, just drag and drop. You can understand how simple it is. I'll explain. Okay, step by
okay,
step process I can explain, guys. No need to worry. It's very simple. So it's a completely code free tool, completely visualization tool. You no need to worry about coding at all.
okay. And one more thing, Suresh, like if suppose in the existing environment, a few of the SSS packages are there. If suppose we want to, migrate to the ADF, then directly it will convert all the SSS package to the ADF, or do we need to do any uh, modifications?
Yeah. So yeah, maybe if you guys are not understanding this, I'll try to explain this. If you want to run your SSIS package, there is an integration runtime. Okay, so we generally have
Okay,
three types of integration runtime. We have auto resolve integration runtime, self-host integration runtime, SSIS integration runtime. what this integration runtime will do, generally, they will provide a compute infrastructure. If you want to move data from source to target, there is some compute infrastructure. That's what I have explained, compute, right? So it basically provides infrastructure, compute infrastructure, if you want to move data from source to target. So even SSIS package, if you want to run SSIS packages in ADF, there are two mechanisms. First mechanism is a lift and shift mechanism. There is an activity execute SSIS package where you need to directly run your SSIS package. Before going to run this SSIS package, you have to be installed SSIS IR integration runtime. Okay, SSIS IR integration runtime. Basically, if you want to run your SSIS package directly, you have to install this in SSIR in ADF itself. We have that in ADF how you need to create SSIR. So I'll explain that how you need to create. There are different kinds of environments in real time virtual network, right? You have to create that for security purpose. So I'll explain that how you need to create that SSIR and how you need to execute. I just want to give some glimpse on that and exactly how you need to execute, and so that you can understand.
Okay, Suresh, thank you.
Any other questions, team? Yes, guys, I'll cover Databricks also. Okay, no need to worry. And I'll also show you real time my notebooks, guys. Okay, so how I have written Databricks notebook, how I have written the code. So everything I'll show you guys. Okay, you have to be understand what is happening in a real time coding. So I'll also share you those notebooks, guys, so that there is a lot of reusable code is there. If it is, I think the notebooks, whatever I have written, there's a lot of reusable code. This definitely it will use for your real time. If you have any Databricks kind of notebook you want to create, you can also use this sample notebooks. Okay, you can replace a lot of code. Okay.
Suresh, hello.
Yes, yes, guys.
Yeah. So I had one question here. I'm MBA postgraduate, and I have no experience in coding and other stuff. So you said that earlier that you will be starting from a scratch. So do you think that I'll be able to connect the dots and understand everything that you will be teaching, and the kind of
Yes, yes,
content that will take us through?
yes, guys. Okay, so you'll connect all the dots. I mean, that's what once you go through that first session, you can easily connect to that. And so let me I mean, I worked on different kinds of projects, so you can connect, guys. Okay, so whoever is maybe joined today, just go through that first demo session. And if you have any questions also, guys, if you are maybe sometimes you are not able to understand few terminology, you can talk to me. Okay, you can talk to me. So this is not I'm not understanding, can you please explain? I'll definitely connect with you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so everyone need to understand, guys. My intention is everyone need to understand everything. Okay, so if you are, maybe if you guys are hesitate to talk, I mean, you can talk also Telugu, guys. Okay, you can talk in English, you can talk in Telugu, that is fine for me. Okay, no need to worry about I mean, language. Okay, language is not barrier here, so everyone can speak their native language.
So apart from that, towards the end of the session, like once this whole course is over, you would be providing some sort of certification as well, or it's just that?
Yeah. So if anyone interested, certification, Microsoft certification, and I'll also share you that some inputs, and I'll also share you some documents where you need to prepare, and some websites, some links I'll share. Please let me know if anyone wants to complete the certification. I'll help you because I've done a lot of certifications with respect to Azure fundamentals, data engineering side. So if anyone needs assistance on certification side, I'll definitely help on that, guys. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ramya, no, sorry.
Yeah,
Ramya, about
Suresh,
your
please. Yeah,
question.
for
Sorry,
the
Jitendra.
certification part. For the
Sorry,
certification,
Jitendra.
please help for that.
Yeah, sure, Jitendra. Yeah, you can talk to me offline, then I'll explain. Okay, how we need to proceed on that. Okay. So, Ramya, coming to your question, could you please explain briefly about what is server is and what does it have? to do with Azure. So while create this server practically, guys, okay, so one of the concept we have a SQL database. I'll explain. So server in a real time, just want to give the real time use case. Server is generally when you want to visit any hotel, right? You want to order, I mean, server will come to you and he will take your food and I mean whatever the items, right? You just mention and to the server, and he will gather all this information, and he will go to the kitchen, and he will take all the items for you, and he will prepare, and he will I mean kitchen persons, whoever is there, chef, he will prepare that, and so server will pick those items, and he will bring it to you, right? So that's what happens. Server will exactly, it will do so for example, if you want to select any database perspective, if you want to create any table, if you want to select any table, so we need to use it's everything is running on through server. Okay, so on base is a server. How you need to create a server, and exactly what is the server practically, I can show you guys. Got it, Ramya?
Yep. Thank you.
Any other questions, team?
So Suresh, what would be the timing for these sessions
So I'll plan from tomorrow onwards, guys. Is everyone is okay with 7:30?
in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be perfect.
Okay. So I think everyone is there in the group, right? Anyone is missing?
I might not be able to join in the morning since I have to go to the office.
Okay. So do one thing, guys. Whoever is not able to accommodate the time to attend the sessions, and I'll also share the recorded sessions. If you miss any sessions, maybe in few one of the day you are not able to attend the sessions. You can also go through the recorded sessions. I'll keep everything, including everything, guys, everything in a drive. You can just walk through the drive, and everyday recorded sessions, day 1, day 2, day 3. I'll keep everything. Yeah, Sujit, you can ping me. Okay, so I'll keep everything in the group, and I'll give access to everyone. Okay, please ping your email IDs in the group itself, guys, not personally. In the group itself, you can ping me your email IDs so that I'll provide an access to everyone.
Sure, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll keep this demo 1, demo 2 in drive itself, and today demo session 2 I'll share link in the training group, and I'll keep everything in the drive itself. Okay.
Is it 7 a.m. IST?
Yes, IST. Is that okay for you, Ramya?
Yeah, yeah. That's
Okay.
good. Thanks.
So any other questions, team? The idea of definition I'll explain tomorrow, guys. Okay, so it's an ETL tool or ELT where you are extracting data, transforming and loading the data with scale. So I'll explain tomorrow, Purna. Okay.
Yeah, Suresh, one more doubt. In the
Yeah.
section, Power BI will also cover.
No, Venkatesh, I'll not cover the Power BI because we are into data engineering. Power BI developers are completely different. Okay, no need to learn Power BI. Power BI is completely, it's a visualization tool. It's a different tool.
Okay. Okay.
No issues. So any other questions, team?
And tomorrow onwards, we'll start 7 o'clock, right?
Yeah, 7 are both is fine, right? 7 are sometimes it's very early for many people. That's what I can start at 7:30, guys. Okay, if everyone is okay.
Why? Because we'll go to offices again. That's why I'm asking. Again, 9 o'clock.
Okay, 7 o'clock is fine for everyone. I'll start at 7 o'clock only, guys. Okay. I'll take feedback from everyone, guys. I'll ping, okay, personally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great
Thank you.
weekend for all.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, thank
Suresh.
you. Thank you, Suresh.
Thanks a lot, Suresh. Thanks a lot, Suresh.
Sujit? Yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you, Jitendra. Sujit, can you ping me your number?
Thank you.